extended classroom. We have students that come in daily. Sometimes they're given a warm-up, sometimes they're not, but they go to their Google Classroom, they grab an iPad, go to Google Classroom, and there will be a checklist there for them that they need to go to. So the entire unit is mapped out for them. It tells them where I want the notes to actually be in their notebook. It tells them when the due dates are for that portion of the unit, and each topic is broken down. They do a lesson notes, and then they'll do an IXL. The percentage that I want in IXL changes based on the students. I can differentiate there, and then they do an assignment, and then there's a mini quiz. Because we're graphing systems of equations, we're graphing, so I want mini quizzes on paper. Otherwise, sometimes I'll have mini quizzes on Google Forms, and we'll use those mini quizzes. But for example, they'll click on the video. Right now I have my videos in Dropbox because YouTube hasn't been coming up for me, and they'll start watching the video. I've used programs like Edpuzzle to help me incorporate questions within the actual video, so that I know that they're watching it and I know that they're listening to it. So sometimes what we see is the students will just watch the video and they won't actually listen to it, they'll just get the notes down. However, with something like Edpuzzle or Playcast-O-Matic, you can actually ask them questions that they'll have to answer. From there, they'll go to an IXL. Like I said, I get to differentiate the percentage. So if someone is working really well and knows the material, the harder questions are at the end, so I might push them to something higher than 90. Or if someone is just getting the material and is struggling but has answered 100 questions, then I'm going to tell them that they need to get a 70 or something lower than that 90. They'll go ahead and complete the problems on the IXL. Once they're done with that, they will get a checklist, a little slip of paper that they'll clip into their notebook that says that they've completed that IXL. From there, they have an assignment. I don't print out my assignments unless they have a ton of graphs on them, and even then I kind of just print out some graph paper. But this would be their assignment. They'd get a piece of graph paper, complete the assignment on that graph paper, and get that graph paper stapled or glued into their notebook so they have it for references later. And then, like I said, some of the quizzes are on Google Forms. This one is not, because I want them actually hand graphing the system so that they can see the intersection and find the solution that way. This is where I want the notes in specific pages on in their notebook. So when I check their notebook, they should have it all there. They can check when they're done, and then they have the due date. So, for example, graphing systems of equations would have been due on the 2nd of February. That's about how they work through a general day. I get to circulate the classroom. My classrooms, they have kind of U-shaped groups where I get to kind of sit in the middle and actually work with the students. We use a lot of whiteboards so that they can show their work to me on the whiteboard, or I can show work to them on a whiteboard. I kind of carry a whiteboard around with me throughout the class and go from group to group, helping them on the problems that they're working with. They also are allowed to talk with the group members to discuss, whatever the problem is that they're on and the troubles that they're having. Some people are further ahead than others, so they've already done the work, so they're able to say, well, in this problem, you do this, this, and this, or why don't you try doing this? So they get to actually have that conversation about the math. I will say that in a blended classroom, if they sit behind their iPads and don't actually interact with one another or interact with me, they're not going to be very successful. They will be kind of just in the, behind the technology. We want this technology to allow them to interact with everyone. So we want them asking questions. We want them talking to their peers. We want them engaging in math talk. And I think when you allow all of those things to happen, a lot of these students have found that they are successful in it. Also, it's at their own pace. Because I have video notes here, I don't have to give direct instruction. I do if students for some reason didn't understand the lesson, then I can go back to remediate and have a small group that allows them to listen to kind of the same topic again, maybe get a couple different examples and have a discussion with me, and I pull those kids that need the help instead of those that understand it and are moving on to the worksheets and iExcels. I have students in many different places right now in my classroom, but overall I think they are seeing a success in it, and they think that while they might have struggles on one topic, they may not have struggles on others, so they get to differentiate how much time they're spending on those topics. I do keep a pacing due date, so while they might finish this first topic here in a day, I give them 2 days to actually complete it. So it allows them that opportunity, and then whatever they don't complete in class is what they need to do outside of class on their own to make sure they're up to date with their due dates. Let me show you an example of a notebook. This is one of our students' notebooks. For example, this would be a set of notes that we have here that they've taken from my notes and my video lessons. Here's their iExcel ticket. It says that they've done it. She obviously couldn't remember what section it was on, but I was able to check on the iExcel website and actually see that she had it done, so therefore she gets the little iExcel ticket. And then their assignment would be here. So they've showed that they can successfully graph a system of equations and identify the solution based on the intersecting point. Here's just another example. If you notice here, they have their essential questions on the side here that they can go back to at a later date and ask themselves those questions to see if they actually understood the material and refresh their memory on what they learned. So that's just an example of a notebook and a little brief introductory of my class, and I'd be happy to help anybody that's interested with blending their classroom. I think a lot of the students have enjoyed it, and they kind of feel like it's their own learning and they get to take part in what they need to do instead of what everyone else needs to do.